All right, we're back. Okay. So I've talked about the config service. I've talked about the prepare service. The last service is pretty straightforward, but it's the store service, right? The store is basically where we check to see if something exists on that host, right? It's pretty straightforward. It just has two fetch and then path, right? So the fetch is pretty straightforward. It's the thing to actually download the value from the store. We have store path kind, store path, store fetch, response, store path, your response. Perfect. Cool. So yeah, makes sense. Pretty straightforward. I need to make a super quick fix before we move forward. So let me catch up with chat really quick here. I'd still like a check phase eventually. Eventually, I think we will. I know I'm biased. I always thought the configure build were very silly. They aren't, and like they aren't cached separately. I think they only exist for auto tools builds. So Kyle, that's kind of what I feel as well, my dude. Right? Is like I was kind of like, you know what, like. I looked at how I made this decision. How did I make this decision? Well, I tried to be as informed as I could be about this. I looked at every flake that I have written, right? And I kind of realized that almost every flake I've written has only ever used the build phase, right? Like I've never really had to use install phase and then check phase and all these other phases, right? So like I kind of felt the same way, which is why I removed it to start, at least. You know what I mean? So yeah, so again, in V0 will be just focused on, the build phase. But in the future, if we need more phases, we can figure it out. This is where the pipeline thing kind of becomes really interesting, because here, let me mock what that might look like for you guys for a second, right? So say, for example, I have like my package, which is just like example, right? Like this, right? Say this is my package example. And then I'm like, all right, I want to define a build stage, or whatever, right? Right now, at the moment, it's like script, right? And like, this is literally like what I'm describing to you right now is literally Vorpal's SDK, like, schema, right? I can say packages and just like say I don't want any packages, right? Now, this is straightforward. I build against this. It uses